Greetings viewers, this is CP666 signing on for here again what's going to be a quick little video just to compare the two machines that I have here, the Toshiba Satellite Pro 420 CDT and the Toshiba Tecra 730 CDT, two systems that I had back in the day. I've got 3 minutes to do this. So the first thing that we'll go ahead and look at is the size comparison. And you can see that the 730, or sorry, the 420 is quite a bit smaller. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but you got to remember that every little bit helps with the system that you're carrying around the house when you're about, maybe 7 or 8 years old. Yeah. And I always thought that it was a lot cooler with this one. All the indicators were up there at the top, as opposed to this one with some indicators here and some right there. You can't just see everything at a glance. As far as the other ones go, this one is obviously quite a bit more yellowed, but that's not really privy to any of this. And what I will do next is I will go ahead and stack these two machines on top of each other because I don't really have enough workbench space to be turning them around and showing things. Okay, if we have a look at the front here, and I think I'm going to have to probably turn on the video light for this if I can. I don't remember exactly how you do that on this camera. Oh, the button's right there. You can see on the 420, you get a monophonic speaker on the front, as well as volume control and a headphone jack. Actually, that might be a line output. I preferred that over the 730 because that speaker, it's not stereo, but it certainly gets a lot louder. Of course, this machine has the optical drive on the front, which, again, I kind of preferred that over this because the optical drive is easily accessible. You didn't have to worry about the optical drive bumping into another system like you did on this one. The battery in this one is also right over here on this side, covered up by a door. The hard drive is a lot easier to access. It's just underneath the battery, or where the battery would go on that. This one's got a built-in modem. There's your PC card slots, and also the port for the floppy drive. On this side, there's a power switch on both machines. You can see some more audio ports there. PC card slots, they're over there, as well as the floppy and the serial port. This one, the 420, has its ports arranged in a weird way. I think I'm going to run out of tape here. On the back, the one thing I liked about this one is not only is the power supply internal, but also you don't have any ridiculous port doors to break off like you do with this one. Here's a look at the inside of the 420. This is a fragile point. Unfortunately, this one's broken. I think it's got a smaller display as well. Here's the inside of this one. I hate this volume control, but it doesn't have the little the plastic that breaks easily. It's got a bigger screen. The other thing that's worth noting, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think my tape is going to run out. But back in the day, my 430 that I had was running Windows 3.1, and this was running Windows 98. I hate Windows 98. I hated it then. I hate it now. Yeah, the tape ran out, and there were a couple of things that I still wanted to say, so now I guess we're recording on Video 8 tape, so the quality probably won't be as good. On a camera like this that already isn't very good quality, that's probably not a good combination. I'll probably get a lot of complaints on this video. But I think where I left off, I was talking about Windows 3.1 versus Windows 98. Now that I'm not in a rush, I can actually power the machines up and go over a couple of the other things that I really wanted to mention, sort of clarify a couple of points. The hinges, or sorry, the latches, not the hinges. Well, the hinges are different. I mean, you can see on that one at least. And where did I put the other one? The other one's over there. You can see the hinges are definitely different, but the latch on that machine down there, it's on the front, and on this one it's got two side latches, but it really didn't seem to matter. These ones were fragile. The other ones are also fragile, but maybe a little bit less so. But the one big thing about these was the power supply connector on the back was very fragile. If you looked at it the wrong way, it would break, and you wouldn't be able to power it from the power supply anymore without moving that jack around. It was really annoying. That happened to mine that I had back in the day. It's not a problem with this one, and I'm going to be taking great pains to make sure that doesn't happen to this one. I always thought that this was an interesting tab key on these, but like I said, even though it's got stereo speakers, they don't get as loud as the monophonic one on the 420 CDT does, or the 430, or any machine that's got that monophonic speaker. But I guess now that I've got a lot of time, I can actually power these machines up. They're set up basically exactly the same way that I had my machine set up back in the day. Well, yeah, really, I mean, the keyboard's the same, the track point is the same, or whatever Toshiba called it. I've always called them track point. I think that's an IBM thing. They use the same floppy connector on the side for the external floppy drive, which unfortunately I don't have. We'll go and we'll power this one on first, which has a working battery. The other one does not. Like I mentioned, they're set up exactly the same way as my machines back in the day were, with the possible exception of the installed memory. These don't use standard RAM. Neither of them does. So it's running Microsoft Plus 98. Never really did happen to like Windows 98, mostly because I wasn't a fan of Internet Explorer 4 and the desktop update that Windows 98 came with. I thought it was more bloat than it was really worth. Although truth be told, it never really ran bad on these machines, but I had some systems, it drug them straight through the dirt. Really, it did. It was terrible. I do have a theme set up. And even on this one, it's not really terrifically fast. I think Windows 95 will be running rings around this. But it could be worse. Stuff in the recycle bin. So empty that. And then we'll go get the other machine. Probably should have just right-clicked it and done it that way. So, I'll shut it down, and we'll move on to the next machine. That's what the speaker's turned up all the way. I can't turn the speaker up all the way on the 420 CDT, otherwise it'll blow my ears, and it distorts like crazy. And it's much easier to deal with just the boombox style power cord where you don't have to worry about it breaking off of the board. But if I remember right, the power supplies in these were not nearly as reliable as the external bricks, and of course they're not as easy to replace either. I think the two machines actually have the same hard drive in them. This one posts a little bit faster, but it's got a little bit less RAM. And this hard drive is struggling a little bit. I think if I remember right, this one's only got 8 megabytes of onboard memory, where the other one has 16. Here comes Windows 3.11. Again, configured just like I had mine. So, works great. And that's going to conclude this video. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. Till then.